Welcome back to another story about my spiritual awakening. This story is back before I knew I was a medium, back before I was really into spirituality. I was definitely exploring it. I had started to consistently meditate. I had even started to maybe explore crystals and things like that, but I certainly was not having a relationship with God or the universe or anything like that. It was more, I was in the exploration phase, and my grandfather had just passed. Him and I were very, very, very close. He lived next door to me growing up, and I spent a lot of time with him. And I especially spent a lot of time with him at the end of his life and helped with the his care at the end of his life too. So the whole process of him passing, as I was starting to wake up, was really profound. And when he did end up passing, I actually felt him pretty close. And I was able to see him in meditations. And it was just at that pivotal point in my spiritual awakening where I was meditating consistently, and I was thinking that I was having these like visions and getting these downloads and things, but I wasn't fully convinced. But when he passed, it was this turning point of really believing, because I wanted to believe that he was in heaven. I wanted to believe that he was okay and that he was still with me. So in one particular meditation at this time, it was probably 2 months after his passing, I am transported into the cabin with him that he had when I was growing up. So he had a cabin on a lake that he absolutely adored going to. And in the meditation, and if you don't meditate, just so you know, it's kind of like you're imagining something, and it can be confused with your imagination, but in your mind's eye or in your dream state almost, but you're awake, you're seeing different environments and different places that you're in, or even different people. So in this particular meditation, all of a sudden I'm in the cabin with my grandfather, and he's sitting in a rocking chair next to me. Now I fully, in my skeptic mind and my non-super spiritual mind, I am thinking I'm making this up. This is a nice memory for me to have. Me and my grandfather sitting in the rocking chairs at the cottage. Like, that's amazing. I love this. I'll stay here all day with him. So I'm just thinking this is just me remembering something, or even making it up in my imagination. We're sitting there, he's not saying anything, but it feels really nice to be next to him. And then I start to say goodbye to him, and I have to go back to work or whatever I was doing. And he says, "No, no, no, wait, I have something to give you." And I said, "What? You have something to give me?" And he said, "Yeah, put out your hand." And so I put out my hand, and he put a chocolate mint, like a green Andes chocolate mint, in my hand. And I thought to myself again, this is a nice memory to have, because he used to take me to a restaurant where they gave us those mints. I had forgotten that, but it was like a nice memory to all of a sudden think of. So I said thank you and said goodbye and gave him a hug in the meditation, fully thinking that I had just made this up and remembered a spontaneous memory to help me feel close to him. And that it was all my subconscious in my mind that had come up with this little imagination setting that had just happened. And then I was in his house about a week later, and I was going through his house, and I was just going through some of his stuff, and I kept seeing this brown jacket in my mind. You know, when you're going about your day and you keep thinking about the dirty dishes in the sink or the laundry you have to fold, and it just keeps popping into your mind. You can even see the pile of laundry. That's how this is. That's how your intuition works. Well, how I've learned that the intuition works. And this is exactly what was happening to me, but I didn't know that that was intuition at the time. I kept seeing this brown jacket, and it kept popping up, and I just couldn't get rid of it. And I don't even remember him wearing this jacket. And I kind of started talking to him, and I was just like, why do I keep seeing your jacket? Why do I keep seeing your jacket? And so I go into the back hall, and I go into his jackets, and I don't find the jacket. So I'm like, this is so weird. I keep going through some of his stuff, walking around the house, doing my thing. I keep seeing the jacket. So I go down into the basement where I think there might be more of his jackets. I dig through about 20 more jackets, and sure enough, I find this jacket that I'm seeing in my mind. It's like a Carhartt style jacket, which I just don't remember him wearing. And instinctively, I reached into the pocket of that jacket, and oh, I got the chills. What was in the pocket of the jacket but a green chocolate Andes mint? My grandfather from heaven, through God or the universe's will, had given me that chocolate mint in meditation to then show me that I could be led through my intuition and through my sight, through my clairvoyance, to validate that it was real, that he was really in heaven. He had really given that mint, and he had given me that mint in another way, in real life. My grandmother was the type to not let anything sit in the pockets of anything. As soon as we got home, she was emptying out pockets. I dare say she had a bit of OCD. Still does, still alive. But all of the other jackets, I reached in them because I was like, do they all have chocolate mints in them? What's going on here? And there was nothing in any of the other pockets except that one jacket that I had dug through 30 jackets between upstairs and downstairs. And that one jacket in that pocket was the chocolate Andes mint. I hope you enjoyed this story, and I'll see you in the next one.